Recording. Hello again, it's me Chaz back with another video. This is another video that's way overdue. Should have released this back in March, but this is my UEFA World Cup qualifying videos. I'm going to do this a bit different than I have in the past with the other confederations, since there's a lot more teams in this stage of the UEFA World Cup qualifying process. Since there's a total of 12 groups, 6 of them being groups of 4 and another 6 of them being groups of 5, there's a lot of teams, so I'm going to split these up into, at this time, 2 videos. The 6 groups of 5 start off the World Cup qualifying campaign in March, and they will also play games this month in June. 4 would start their World Cup qualifying matches in September. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make one video that focuses on Group G, H and I, and the next video I do that is based on the UEFA zone. That video would be about the nations in Group J, K and L. Alright, should mention that the top team in all groups will qualify for the World Cup in 2026. The second place team will go through to the playoffs and have another opportunity to compete at the World Cup. Also, based on the nation league, there are some nations that even if they finish out of the top 2 spots, they will have another chance to qualify for the World Cup, because they would also be put into the the European playoffs, to see if they will qualify for the World Cup. That's because, as mentioned, their performance at the Nations League. Back in December, the draw was made, so we found out which nations are in what groups. I do have a video out there, put that out back in December, so now we know. The nations in Group G, I'm going to start off there. Poland, Finland, Lithuania, the Netherlands and Malta. Both Poland and the Netherlands are the 2 nations in this group that have qualified for the World Cup before, the Netherlands reaching the final 3 times but never winning. Poland themselves have also reached the semi-final twice, and their biggest finish has been finishing 3rd on those 2 occasions, winning both the 3rd place playoff matches. The first 2 games to take place in Group G was Malta against Finland, and Poland played hosts to Lithuania. Both games ended up in a 1-0 win. Finland beat Malta 1-0 away, and Poland defeated Lithuania 1-0 at home. So match 1, Malta-Finland. Finland scored in the 38th minute. Coleman, great strike. Keeper does save it, but Oliver Antman reacted first. 1-0 Finland. Malta had their chances in the second half to equalise, but they didn't put them away. Then late into the second half, in the 78th minute, Kirkshaw was shown a straight red card because of a dangerous tackle onto Karietnen. Studs shown on his ankle, bad challenge, sent off. Any chance for a comeback for Malta was done then. Finland 1-0. Alright, the other game, Poland-Lithuania. As mentioned, Poland defeated Lithuania 1-0 at home. Goal came in late in the 81st minute. Who else but Lewandowski scored for Poland 1-0. He scored his first ever World Cup goal in the last tournament in Poland's 2-0 win over Saudi Arabia. Okay, Netherlands were the only team that didn't play a match in this group in March. I should say they didn't play a World Cup qualifying game. They actually was playing against Spain in the Nation League's quarterfinals. Because of that loss they had to Spain, that would actually put Netherlands into this group. At the end of match day 1 in Group G, Finland and Poland were tied first. Let's move on to Group H. Group H had Cyprus, San Marino, Romania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Austria. Cyprus and San Marino are the only teams in this group who have never qualified for the World Cup before. Romania played at the very first World Cup in 1930, but haven't qualified for the World Cup at the turn of this century. 1998 was the last time they qualified for a World Cup. As independent nation, Bosnia and Herzegovina have only qualified for one World Cup in 2014. And Austria, who didn't play a qualifying match in March, have reached 2 World Cup semi-finals, first in 1934 and again in 1954. We can start off with the 2 nations that haven't qualified for the World Cup before. That's Cyprus and San Marino. That ended in a Cyprus 2-0 win. Cyprus were playing at home. Both goals were scored in the second half. Pittas in the 55th minute for Cyprus made it 1-0. And Kakulas late on in the 86th minute finished the tie 2-0 for Cyprus. Right, next game in this group, Romania lost 1-0 to Bosnia and Herzegovina. Gigovic in the 14th minute for Bosnia made it 1-0. Good away win for Bosnia there. As I mentioned, Austria didn't play in March. Again, not in a qualifying match. They were playing in the Nations League, lost their matches to Serbia. At the end of match day 1 though, in Group H, Cyprus were leading with Bosnia and Herzegovina in second at that time. And finally, Group I. Moldova, Norway, Israel, Estonia and Italy all make up Group I. Moldova and Estonia are the 2 nations in this group who have never qualified for the World Cup. While Norway have qualified for 3 World Cups in the past, back-to-back World Cups in the 90s, qualified for 94 and 98, but haven't qualified for a World Cup since. Israel have only ever qualified for 1 World Cup, that's back in 1970, which was hosted by Mexico. And finally, Italy, who have hosted the World Cup on 2 different occasions. First in 1934, when they became the first team from Europe to ever win the World Cup. They would go on to win the World Cup again in 1938, which made them the first nation to ever retain the World Cup. Interesting enough, they played Norway in the 1938 World Cup. That was Norway's first ever match at the World Cup. Italy would host the World Cup again in 1990, but 2 World Cups before that, they would go on to win the World Cup for the 3rd time in their history in 1982 in Spain. And finally, they won the World Cup for the 4th time in their history in 2006, winning it in Germany. Though they have missed out on the last 2 World Cups, Italy also lost in the Nations League to Germany 5-4 on aggregate, which is why they were put into this group. Again, there was 2 games taking place in match day 1. Moldova were defeated 5-0 by Norway at home. Very poor start to Moldova, while for Norway, absolutely brilliant start for them. Israel will come back from a goal behind against Estonia to win 2-1. Their match took place in Hungary though. I believe because of security reasons, as you know what's going on over there right now. Going to start again with the game with Moldova and Norway. 4 of the goals that Norway scored against Moldova came in the first half. 5 minutes in the first half, Ryerson scored, and then in the 23rd minute, Halland scored for Norway. Asgard scored in the 38th minute, making it 3-0 for Norway, and 2 minutes from the end of the first half, Sloth scored. That's 4-0 first half for Norway. And the one solo goal that was scored in the second half, Donham scored. That was in the 69th minute. So again, great start for Norway, but for Moldova, that's a horrible way to start off their World Cup qualifying campaign. Alright, the second game, that was a 2-1 win for Israel against Estonia. Has got C for Estonia scored 10 minutes in, though still in the first half. An own goal from Ian helped Israel out there. 1-1 in the first half. Then Dasa in the 75th minute, so late on for Israel, made it 2-1. Very late on in the game though, Estonia was down to the 10 minute. Sumens got a second yellow in the 87th minute and sent off. Israel won that game 2-1. So a great start for them in their World Cup qualifying campaign. Italy, as mentioned, the only team in this group to not play the World Cup qualifying match yet. They will this month in June. But at the end of match day 1, Norway would top the group while Israel would be in second place. Alright, so how I'm going to word this title. This is my UEFA World Cup qualifying match day 1 for Group G, H and I. Thanks for watching. I will do the rest of the groups next and then come back with the match day 2 videos. Hopefully I'll release all of these ones just before all of the match day 3 games are played. So hopefully I've really releasing it on Friday, which is the 6th of June, which probably by the time I release this video would be the 6th of June. Currently recorded on the 5th on the Thursday, so hopefully I upload this fast and the other 3. Anyway, thanks for watching as usual. Please like, comment and subscribe, and bye.